Alrighty, so I just lost internet about 5 minutes ago. So if it drops again, I don't know. We're gonna lose it again. Welcome everyone. Welcome to the Monday night live stream. I hope you all had a great weekend, and we are here to talk about fish. We already have a fish question. We'll get there in a minute. I just continue to screw with this thing. There we go. Tesla Kill Dozer says, Bob, since you have a 7:03 start time, I'm going to match that with a 7:03 super chat. All right. Who's talking? Who's that? What's going on here? Dennis, hello. Zen. Oh, Zen. What am I to do? That's all right. We got to give a few minutes for people to come in here, right? What else is new? We're just gonna for the best live fish shop here, dancefish.com in the links, pin that, and we are ready to rock and roll. Yo, no theme. Well, the theme is fish tanks. Fish tanks and aquariums are the theme. Is the weather bad there, Bob? Yes. It is always bad here. It is never going to be good. I feel like I'm complaining about this every single week. I go, Shoddy, it's your birthday. We going to party like it's your birthday? It is not my birthday. But thank you. Main Sales, Ferns, and Fins. Hello, Jess. Bunny. Yeah, we've been having crazy wind, storm, gusty weather since about midnight last night. And I keep losing the internet, but not power, which is kind of weird. So I don't know. Haven't had any flickers. Just losing internet. Poor signal. Eric Wyrock says, Bunny, I got your stickers. Gorgeous. And the letter felt like I was a pirate. I have no idea what that means, but he's very excited. So, there you go. All right, our first fish question. K-Stu, you did. K-Stu says, hey, Fish Gang, just got home. Missed the members only. Yep. But that's all right. You're here now. So, I cannot scroll back far enough to see our first fish question. But it was asking about Amazon puffers and how to sex them. Hey. They are pretty much unsexable at this point, and there's really no one breeding them in the hobby either. So unfortunately, I don't have an answer for you. Yeah, as far as I know, unless somebody in chat knows otherwise, I've yet to see anyone sexting Amazon puffers, or really any puffers. Like, all puffers are really hard to sex. Thanks for saying my site was cool. Liquid Zoo Only Fins. Your site is pretty rad. It's pretty rad. And maybe someone can link that, the fish link there, maybe? Maybe a moderator can link it, or I'll go get it. The wax seal was so cool too. Bob, I have a first question. How do you run your hang-on back filters if it's the only filter on the tank? I run my hang-on back filters very simply. I do not use any of the included media, and I use only quilt batting. And that's it. I don't worry about biofiltration. It's just I use my hang-on back strictly for mechanical filtration. There's enough surface area on everything in your aquarium that you're pretty much always going to have enough beneficial bacteria. I'm not worried about it in my hang-on backs. So, like I said, I pull everything out and then I put batting in it, and I just replace the batting when it's dirty. Hey! Man, normally they're sleeping this time. Like, I feed them before the stream, so their bellies are full, and they take a little nap. But apparently they're a little rambunctious today. Might have to separate them. Hi everyone. Glad to be here. We'll have to leave in a bit for a short time, but we'll be back soon. Well, thank you for stopping by. Don't forget to hit the like button if you're here. Hit the like button. Yo, yo, yo. Mile High Plecos is here again. That is crazy. Good to see you, Trevor. Hope you're doing well. The new food behind me, the Sasquatch Surprise. I was gifted that by Aquarium Co-op with the promise that I would try it on the live stream. So I might bust those out in the second hour and try these chips. I have no idea what they are. I've never had them before. Sasquatch Surprise. Curtis Schindler with the $1 super chat. Thank you, thank you, thank you. There is never any meanings. I saw the question, but I don't see it now. There's never any meaning to the fish in my thumbnails. I just find random fish pictures and use them in my thumbnail. So that's the story with that. I mean, so if I have a topic, I'll try, like if I'm talking about, like if we do a stream on schooling fish, then I'll try to do like, you know, tetras or resbors or something like that. But generally, they're just fish pictures. Random fish pictures. Cactus Woman. Hey, Bob, it's been like 4 months. What's popping? Yeah, it has been a while. It's been a long time since I've seen that name. Good to see you. Finally stocked up your 125. All right. Well, what's popping? Not a lot around here. Oh, man. Everything and nothing all at the same time. How do I polish my water if I only run canisters? Well, normally, like, there's foam section in canister filters, which would be your water polisher. The foam section would be. The surprise is they're super hairy chips. That would be the grossest thing ever. Like, oh. What's the best way to seed bacteria from an established tank to a new tank or tub? Would a bucket of mulm, gravel vac be enough? I like to put physical items in there, so I don't like the amount of beneficial bacteria in the water column is not enough. I mean, they don't live in the water column, right? You might get some floating around, you know, looking to go from this piece of wood over to that piece of rock, but beneficial bacteria lives on the surface. So I try to transfer the surface of something. So like a piece of wood, in my case, it's always a sponge filter. I always take out a sponge filter from an established tank and move it into the new tank, and never have an issue. But if that's not a problem, then I wouldn't. I don't like dumping mulm in and making my tank dirty after I just set it up, so I don't do that. But I would just take something out of there, and depending on the bio load too. You know, if it's just a betta, it probably doesn't need anything. If you have live plants, you're not going to really need anything to seed it. But if you're setting up like a fully stocked tank, then, you know, transferring over like one piece of wood is probably not going to be enough. So that's why I always just go with the sponge filter. And I'll just, like, if it's the only filter in that tank is a sponge filter, I'll take it out and put a brand new one in its place, and I never notice anything wrong. Like, I've never had anything go bad, because like I said, there's beneficial bacteria over everything else in the aquarium that will start to seed on the new sponge filter pretty quickly. What heater fits the Fluval Spec 5? Oh man, I haven't played with a Spec 5 in like 5 years, at least. I don't know. I don't remember how tall that is. Finally got to the post office today. Look for something in the mail soon, Bob. Oh, Regina Phalanges. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Leo, you definitely don't want anything over 50 watts, but keep it 50 watts and under, and just, you know, look at the dimensions. They usually say it. You can even probably do one of the 25 watt that just stay at 78 degrees and you can't change it. Bunny Viper says, I run batting in all my hang-on backs. I've never had an issue. Yep, me neither. Wouldn't a sponge be more sustainable than batting? So, as far as, like I said, so I use it for mechanical filtration, And a hang on back generally will suck up way more than a sponge filter. I do use them in conjunction with a sponge filter, so I don't only just use one or the other. But the hang on back definitely removes way more like just mulm and waste than a sponge filter. If you put a sponge filter and a hang on back in there and you let them both run for a week, the hang on back is going to have way more crap on it than the sponge filter. So, it's just a personal preference thing for me. There's many ways to do it right in this hobby, which is one of the things I love about this hobby. Especially once you've been doing it for a long time and you really get dialed in, where you can just look at your tank and see if something's wrong with it. That's when you start getting the sweet spots. K2 says, my Bloody Mary shrimp are dying every day. Water parameters seem fine. What should I do? Tiny water changes more often. Well, one, the first question would be like, well, what are your parameters? Two, it could be the water changes that are killing. If you haven't tested your tap water, there might be, you can maybe have copper in your tap water, something like that. Something crazy might be going on there. But the way I would do shrimp, and I don't know where you got them, but I would always try to get shrimp locally. You just tend to have better luck getting shrimp from, someone that's bred them in your local water versus buying shrimp in soft Seattle water and shipping them to, Florida where it's like liquid rock water, Granted, usually when you're going from soft to hard, it's not that big of a deal, but going hard to soft can cause a lot of issues. Have I ever kept brackish fish, brackish puffers before? Nope. Wanting a green spotted puffer, not sure about maintaining a brackish tank. So it's not hard at all. The nice thing about brackish tanks is they're not any harder to keep than just a regular freshwater. So brackish tanks, you try to hit. You really don't even. Okay, maybe I shouldn't say this, but actually, yes. I've done brackish, but I've never done brackish puffers. But brackish water is so, there's so many variables. So usually fish that are from brackish waters can handle just huge degrees of varying salinity, right? Especially if they're like a coastal fish and they're like in an outlet. Well, sometimes, the tide's coming in, it's going to be way more salt than when the tide's going out. And they're mostly just hanging out in like river water. So it doesn't even have to mean exact science. You just follow whatever it says to do on whatever salt package you're buying. It usually has something for, well, at least the salt I buy tells you for brackish. But honestly, for every time I've done brackish, I'm just like, that's about right. That's about right. So yeah, I would not be concerned about maintaining a brackish tank. Now, you can't really do plants or anything like that. There's some plants, but it's very, very limited. So if plants are your thing, you're not going to have a fun time with brackish tanks. Nisi says, somebody asked about a Fluval Spec 5 heater. I used a Hydor 50 watts in my office tank. If you're not in a cold climate or a heated office until mine at 25 should work. I mean, also it depends on what fish. A lot of fish don't even need heaters, especially in the summertime. Was just thinking you could cut a sponge to fit in the same place as the batting and then never have to replace. Yeah, so that would be, there are like, I don't know. Let me see. Let me see before I open my big mouth. See if I can find it. And I'll show you exactly what you're looking for. Yeah, right here. And yes, you could absolutely do that. I think we want to go here. So yeah, you could just buy the pad. You don't even have to buy the filter. You just buy a pad like this. You can see this one that the co-op sells is 9x9. And you just cut it to the dimensions of your hang on back. I've used these before and I double them up. So like I use bigger hang on back filters, so you can usually fit 2, and I think, I could be wrong, but I think it's an inch thick. Specifications. 15 ppi. Specifications. Come on. Come on. Oh, here we go. 1 inch thick. Yeah, there we go. 1 inch. So you can usually get a couple of these in there. And I've done that as well. Boink. K-Stu says, Zenzo told me his mud skippers are pretty easy to maintain. I got to sit with him and Corey and eat tacos. So I'm automatically cool, guys. Too cool for school. Yeah, brackish tanks are just... It's just one more step you have to take. That's it. And you don't even have to add salt with every water change. Like, your salinity will go down a little bit, but your fish can handle it just fine. I have to make sure mine is filled up to a specific fill line before doing water changes. I don't want to use a refractometer every time, or the evaporation can drastically increase salinity. This is true, but usually topping off will counteract that. So like my brine shrimp pond, I mean, I would be very, it would probably only, it's probably like very close to like fresh water. I very rarely put salt in that thing. Blue Water Jim says that co-op pad is a great purchase. I bought 3 of them and they're now in all my hang-on backs. Oh, that sponge looking real thick. Thick, he says. Thick. Where are you finding green spotted puffers? I love to find a green spotted puffer or figure eights, but they seem non-existent in my area and on Aquabid. Have you tried maybe Aquatic Arts, maybe? Puffer. Let's search for puffer. Amazon puffer, humpback, red-eyed dwarf. Well, that's a big negative. They're sold out. It's not the best time for puffers. They're not, I wouldn't say they're seasonal fish, but they seem to be available more often in the spring. Regina Flange says I had a brackish 150 gallon with mono argentis. The mono like the mono sabi, I'm assuming. Green scats and archers. There you go. Degenerate Fishkeeper says, I use those co-op pads in my sumps. Good stuff. Alice B says, do you think puffer fish are worth the extra work in maintenance and diet? So I don't think there's any extra, especially if you're talking like ambush puffers. Generally, they're going to be the only fish in your aquarium. So there's really not much extra maintenance. It's usually less maintenance. Now, the diet is where the extra work is going to come in, being cost. If you have to buy, depending on the puffer, if you have to buy clams, it's going to get expensive. But otherwise, you just get like a 5-gallon bucket and grow your own snails in it. That's what a lot of people do. And if it's one of the smaller puffers that'll just eat pond snails, then it's pretty easy. Bob, you ever go on the co-op forum? Yes, but I'll be honest, I usually don't go on the public side of the forum, unless I'm specifically like tagged in something. Then I'll go on it. Let's take a look. It's a really good resource. If you're not on the co-op forum, I would highly recommend it. It's nice. It's super moderated, so you don't get any of the fish police jerk-offs. You'll get some regular jerk-offs, but at least you won't get fish police jerk-offs. Yeah, so I got no notifications. The co-op has had a massive impact on how I keep my aquariums. Zen Ginger says, clarification. I top off with regular water before doing salt water changes. I don't only top off with salt water. That would be bad. Bad. How many fish could a catfish fish if a catfish could catch? If a what? You didn't even some dude. That wasn't right. How many fish could a catfish fish if a catfish could catch fish? Not could fish. Well, I guess you could do fish. That technically works, but I don't like it that way. I don't like it. It's a superb forum. I agree. I generally don't go there because I'll get lost there. And next thing I know, I've been there for like 2 hours reading posts. So it's... I try not to get too involved unless I'm actually like tagged in the notification. Like someone tags my name. Like I said, otherwise I could be there for like hours and not even know it. Do I have any knowledge on glass catfish, regular or striped? A little bit. I've got a few in my tanks now. I sort of tagged you on Instagram. I got too excited about adorable Panagara was being. I don't know that I see those. Hey. It's quiet time. Yeah, I don't know. So Instagram notifications are kind of weird. Like sometimes they show up. There's like 3 different inboxes, and depending on like who or how or I don't know. I don't get Instagram. It doesn't make any sense to me, but I do enjoy it. Steenfott Aquatics 55-gallon tank. Do you think 6 full-grown Panagara would stop me from developing a Neocaridina shrimp colony? Would only take 2 babies or a full-grown shrimp. I don't think it would stop you. Hey! You're about to get separated. Yeah, you. It's quiet time. All mine just died and I'm not sure why. Uh-oh. Wait, what? Oh, so glass catfish, I will tell you, they are very finicky. And I would never buy glass catfish. How would I buy my glass catfish? So I want to see them alive in the store for at least a week before I would even think about buying them. And I mean at least a week. So a lot of them don't ship very well. Now privately they do. So if, you know, like I shipped them or if like Dan's Fish shipped them, they're going to be just fine. But they come from an importer, then they go to a wholesaler. And glass catfish specifically, they tend to really salt glass catfish. So their tanks have a lot of salt in them. And so through that whole process, they're dealing with salt. Then by the time they make it to the store tank, to your tank, they've been in so many different water parameters and frankly salt that it could really mess with them. So they really go through a lot to get to our tanks. And so yeah, I don't know if any of that made sense, but I've kind of researched because I love glass catfish, and when I first got in the hobby, I would buy them and they would die all the time. They would die and die and die always. So now I make sure like they better be alive for a good week before I'm taking them home. Johnny at Dan's Fish, yeah, he says it right there. They aren't treated well in the supply chain, which most fish are treated that way. Like none of them are treated well. It's just that glass catfish can't really handle it as well as other fish. Cactus Woman says, Bob, I've been gone for a while. How have you been? I mean, I've been better, but I've also been worse, so I can't complain. Can't complain. Are they brackish? No. What's a good carpeting plant? Well, it just depends. One of my favorite carpeting plants, a lot of people don't consider, like plant people don't considering a carpet plant, but dwarf chainsword is one of my all-time favorite plants, and it will carpet. If you're looking for something smaller, there's micro sword or dwarf hairgrass. Dwarf hairgrass, You don't need CO2. You don't need super high light. It will take forever to spread if you don't have that stuff, but it will grow and spread without it. So that's nice. You just got to be super patient. Tesla Killdozer says, are you going to make regular videos again? Yes. Speaking of which, this guy right here, because I showed last week, my camera has been broken, and is it magically going to work now? Nope. Still broken. That's all it does. In and out, in and out. Turn it off. Still goes in and out. You actually have to take the battery out. So, oh my gosh, it's still doing it. I took the battery out. What the heck? Okay, I'll pull it all the way out this time. Corey at Aquarium Co-op was generous enough to loan me this bad boy. So, yep, gonna be finally making videos again. And the other thing is, gonna be making some collab videos too, which will be pretty nice. Which is all I'm gonna say about that. So yes, Tesla, to answer your question, yes. Cactus Woman says, I got a Fluval skylight and my moss still died with them. So moss actually doesn't like warm water. And I think the most common reasons for moss dying is tanks being warm. Moss likes cold water. I'm like low 70s. If you can get away with like 72, 74 degrees, that's where I found moss to be like a-okay. But if you get up towards like 80 or hotter, moss doesn't do well, in my experience. Rico Stan says, Bob, thanks so much for joining me for the interview last week. It was a fun stream. I had a lot of fun as well. Thanks for having me, Rico. And if you, for some odd reason, want more Bob content and you haven't seen me over on Rico Stan, you can go check out his channel, and there I will be. Yeah. We went for a pretty good, decent hour and a half, maybe longer. I don't know. My baby tears were looking awesome until my corys decided to redecorate and turn them into floaters. Paul says, I really enjoyed the interview. Crazy. When it gets nicer out, you should do another video where you go find stuff from nature for your aquariums. Oh, yeah, there'll definitely be one of those. I'm sure Danny and I will go back up into the mountains. Alec, I don't know what that comment is. Dwarf hair grass it is. Bob, totally agree on moss in the cooler temps. It definitely seems to thrive more and gets less algae. Yeah, it's just like the rope I grab outside for my terrariums. If I put it in like the warm, if I put it next to my heat bulbs in my terrariums, it just it dies. But if I put it on the cool side, yeah, it does really well. My hair grass is dying off and not doing well. Been in tank several months. Never really did great. Any tips? It's a low-tech tank. If it needs high-tech, any plant alternative suggestions? So dwarf hairgrass should do all right in like medium to lower tech tanks. You might need to give it some root tabs if you don't like fertilize, or if you don't have like really high light, you're gonna need to help it along. But I've had no problems growing hairgrass with just a really good light and fertilizers. Like, not high light, not CO2, but just a decent light in general. Disregard. Was that what it is? A butt text? A phone? A pocket text? Do you still have your rope fish, Bob? I haven't had rope fish in a very long time, so I'm going to say no. Christmas moss can go easily to 78-ish. In my experience, it grows like crazy in a few of my tropical community tanks. I will say that Christmas moss is definitely one of them that will do better in warmer temps. Christmas moss is my all-time favorite aquarium moss. Bob in the wild. So Mike and Ryan says, I have a tank that has tiger Oscars, rainbow sharks, red-tailed sharks, a Senegal biker. Is that a good mix in your opinion? Also, do Oscars grow at alarmingly fast rates? Yes. Almost all those fish, minus the biker, will grow at alarmingly fast rates. Your rainbow and red-tailed sharks are only going to get so big. Eventually, they'll probably become food for your Oscars, though. So, yes, Oscars grow really fast, and they grow really big. Jan P, better late than never. I agree. Hello, hello. Barbara found my way back. Yep. I got it from the co-op, so I think it's right. Wait, what? All right. I really have no idea what that means. All right. What else we got going on here? Oh, Blue Water Jim with a $10 super chat. I still want Bob, Corey, and Dean live stream. Has that ever happened? I feel like... Hey! I feel like that's happened before. I'm pretty sure that's happened before. Although I think there was more than just us three, though. Oscars and plants. Oscars and plants like Java Fern, Anubias crypts, or a giant waste of my time and money. Have you seen it? So Oscars, they're gonna be able to. They'll deal with plants until they're done dealing with plants. You could have an Oscar in a planet tank for years without any issues, and then one day it'll just wake up and be like, I don't like these plants. I'm going to rip them all up. It's just how they are. It's kind of funny. Do y'all know anything about onion bulb plants? I've never done them myself. Know a little bit about them if you have a specific question. I love my red-tail. I love red-tail sharks, rainbow sharks, bala sharks. I love them all. But I don't have a good way to keep them all, unfortunately. Doug says, freshly cycling 40-gallon breeder planted, wanting small gourami, pearl, neon blue, an angel, and peacock gudgeon, probably some cory cats or yo-yo loaches to help clean up. Which would you add first? If I was going to do one, what would I do first? I would probably do the angel last. I'd probably go with something hardy like the corys or the gourami. Not saying that peacock gudgeons aren't hardy. They're pretty hardy, but I'd probably start whatever you plan on doing the most of, that's what I would start with. So if you're going to do like a school of 12 cory cats, then I would do that. If you're going to do like 6 gouramis and that's going to be the most, I would do that. Gotta go. The wife wants to watch The Last Kingdom. See you later, Blue Water Jim. And thank you so much for the super chat earlier. I appreciate it. Bob, I just bred 3 different wild types of Betta Mahachia. 3 types of Betta. Mahachia, Smyrdian, and Chonoides. I love pronouncing them however I want to pronounce them. That's pretty sweet, Aquaballs. That's you're doing a good job there. 3 different wild type bettas, all breeding. What is your dream fish to hopefully keep or your dream tank look like? Brandon Lee. This has been a popular question lately, and I'm glad I've been keeping this drawing right here because this is my dream fish. This is a Benthachromis tricotti from Lake Tanganyika, drawn by Sam Scales himself. And yeah, that right there. That's my dream fish. Someday. And they get, as far as dream tanks, they get like 10 inches plus, so it would have to be a big one. But that's it. That's it. What is my all-time favorite plant for an aquarium? Anubias. Always Anubias. Doesn't matter which one. My favorite Anubias is probably Cophifolia, but it doesn't really matter. Anubias will always be my favorite. What is a decent light yet not highlight? Man, what is a decent light but not highlight? So in the olden days, I would say something like a Phoenix Planted Plus. Let me check on this one. And not the 24/7. But that would be like my middle of the road, not quite high tech, not quite low tech. Just a good old fashioned Phoenix Planet Plus. And I don't even know if you can get them anymore. Because honestly, their customer service went garbage a couple years ago, so I stopped paying attention to them. But if you're, there's some good eBay lights out there. Like Aqua Neat, I believe, is a good one. I could be wrong. Yeah. Now these are the Aqua Neats are pretty good value, but I have run into some issues with them here and there. But that would be like a budget medium light. But most of them, a lot of them are low light. So there's the problem with Aqua Neat. There's like a million different models, so you have to kind of look through them all and see which one is going to be the best one for you. Bob, have you seen the male McMaster and Dean's fish room? I haven't been to his fish room in a very long time, so probably not. Probably not. Chanabarca is my dream fish. Yeah, that's probably a lot of people's dream fish. What about the Phoenix Stingray? The Phoenix Stingray, I would put that like on the lower, like medium. Again, if I was forced to define something, I think it'll grow every low light plant and a lot of medium light plants, but I don't know that I would classify it as anywhere close to highlight. How would I treat one fish with Popeye? Honestly, I would quarantine it, and I wouldn't give it any meds. I would just give it crystal clear water, super clean water, and really, really good food. And that's all I would do. I wouldn't use any meds. Flame moss is your favorite? Flame moss is, I like all moss except Java moss. Java moss is the worst. Any other moss is a good moss. Flame moss is good. I'm trying to think. I have spiky moss in one of my aquariums. Actually, I think it died because it didn't get enough light. And by that, it didn't get any light. Just got my first 6-foot tank this weekend. Not sure where it's going to go for sure, nor if it'll be rainbows plus a pistos or native tank. Looks like you got some thinking to do there, Xanadu. Member for 17 months. Thank you. I appreciate it. First 6-foot tank. I still remember my first 6-foot tank like it was yesterday. And it sat there unfilled and unused for like 3 months. Oh, that was brutal. That hurt. Hurt looking at that empty tank every day. But I'll never forget my first 125. My Java always gets hair allergy. I swear, Java moss is like a magnet for everything you don't want in your tank ends up on Java moss. All the mulm, leftover food, everything. It's just, I don't know. And I don't like that it gets like stringy and just kind of goes wherever it wants. I don't like that either. Bob, budget light was the old curly bulb CFL thing. Yeah, so definitely those little 7-watt bulbs in like a chicken brooder light. That'll grow pretty much any low light plant. It also, how does one determine what high versus low light tank? Is there watts per gallon? No, you can't really use watts anymore. LED kind of threw the watts per gallon out the window, which was never that good in the first place. There's so many different variables. So like a highlight tank or a highlight light on like a 29 gallon tank is 36 inches. But if you take that same light and put it on a 40 gallon, which is still 36 inches, it's not going to be highlight. If that makes any sense at all, because it's wider, right? So you don't have as wide a spectrum. It's not going to be highlight. Now, what is actually defining it? Everyone defines it differently. There's no like, if there was a set rule, it would probably be par rating, which is so hard to measure. Like nobody's just walking around with par meters. So it's all pretty subjective to the person. It's a gray area for sure. There's a large gray area. Mine sat for 3 months too. Total fish room redo may be needed. Oh, it's been sitting. Okay, yep. My 2 weather loaches love to sleep on my heater. Does anyone know any floating decorations they can sleep on? I don't know of any that are going to be big enough for a weather loach. The only thing that comes to my mind are those floating decorations they make for a betta fish, but those are obviously too small. You might just have to make your own. Marion says swamp darters. I don't know in what reference, but I agree. Swamp darters. Any darter fish for that matter. Why do people say not to leave the blue light on? I'm confused. Well, blue light will grow algae. So if you have algae in your tank and you're leaving your moonlights on, your blue lights, then you're not doing yourself any favors. K-Stu wants to know if anybody has ordered from LRB's home buyer aquatic piece yet. That's a good question. I bet Bentley Pasco. I bet even Bentley doesn't have a par meter. Like Corey has a par meter, but you have to like send them in to get calibrated like every, I don't know, 3 or 6 months or something ridiculous. Like it's not very practical to have a par meter. I borrowed a par meter once, and it was fun to play around with. But as far as like buying one, it's not very practical, in my opinion. Been staring at Bunny Viper. Been staring at yours for 3 months. At least I'm not the only one, I guess. At least I have other people that have suffered right there with me. Maybe perch and a bullhead fish. Oh man, I hate those things. I hate them. I don't hate them, but I remember catching them when I used to go fishing all the time, and I'd be like, "Oh yeah, I got myself a rainbow trout." Nope, it was just a bullhead. Every time. Almost every time. I don't have any too bad light algae on my glass, but not on my plants. I am curious though if anyone has bought from Aquatic Piece yet. Aquatic Piece Aquatics, as Kenny would say. How much should I sell a used 48-inch Fluval 2.0 for? So I personally love the 2.0 better than the 3.0. However, I don't know. When I'm selling used stuff, I like to get rid of it quickly. So I usually charge way less than like a normal person would. So what that light when it came out was like $169 or something. I know the 3.0 is like $220 right now, but I think when the 2.0 came out, it was about $160. I would probably try to get like $60 for it if it was me. And I think that would sell pretty quick. Gonna make magnetic nature wood floating platforms. Time to hit the sketchboard. There you go. Is the 3.0 my go-to light right now? No. If the 3.0 would be my go-to light if I was an average planted aquarium hobbyist. And by average, maybe I have 3 tanks at the most. But I cannot afford Fluval 3.0s on every single one of my tanks. I think it's a fantastic light, don't get me wrong. But at $200 a light, I'm not putting it on every single tank. And especially some of my tanks need 2 lights. So, not going to happen. That being said, I have managed to scrounge up my fair share of them. I think I have, like, I have a couple 4-footers and a couple 3-footers. And I have a 24-incher. And I think that's it. So, a decent amount of my tanks will have Fluval 3.0s, but yeah, I think it's a really good light, but I cannot afford to do my whole fish room in Fluval 3.0s. Bob, the person I'm selling it to is getting a free 75 gallons, so I figured $100 would be good. Yeah, I bet you could get $100 from the right buyer. I don't think that's out of line. Rocky Mile says, been losing 1 neon per month. No obvious illness. Had 6, down to 2. Had them 1.5 years. Is this typical? Yeah. Unfortunately, it can be very typical for neons. Yeah, if they're just dying off like 1 a month, it's kind of just how they are. I have a Q for you. Do you have an A for me? Possibly. Would a Crebensis pair do well with an Episcogramma pair and a 40 breeder? I don't think so. I think so. Not only are the Crebensis going to be kind of hostile, but so will the Epistos. And I don't think 40 gallons is enough space for them to not kill each other. So they could probably live. You probably wouldn't get any breeding out of any of them. If you did, it would definitely be the Crebensis, and then they would probably kill everything. But I don't know. That sounds like... I don't know that I would try that. They're good lights, but overpriced. Are they over? I mean, they do a lot. And the fact that they're waterproof doesn't seem like a big deal, but it is kind of a big deal. I don't know. Like I said, if I was the average, just had 1 or 2, maybe 3 tanks, I would definitely save up for Fluvals. And the main reason, actually, I like the Fluval is because they're one of the few lights that has a really good spread. So if my light is long like this way, the spread would come out this way, right? That's why I do it this way. So one Fluval 3.0 will reach the front and back of a 40-gallon breeder. And to me, I think that's amazing. There's not even there's an eBay brand called Odyssey that has like 5 rows of LEDs, and even those don't reach the front and the back of a 40-gallon. Ginger Grumble with the $5 super chat says, please hit the like. 172 watching and 89 likes. Don't forget to hit the like. An aquarium light being waterproof just makes sense. A lot of people are like, why does it need to be waterproof? Well, eventually it's going to get wet. It'll happen. Whether you've been in the hobby 1 year or 20 years, it'll happen. Fishy Mailman says, Bob, that's my deal with selling used tanks to people I know, work with. Tank is free. If it fails, not my bad, but give me a little extra for equipment. I don't even like giving stuff away for free. It's so much of a hassle. Like, oh, can you meet me here? Oh, I'm 15 minutes late. Oh, can we just do it tomorrow? I'm just going to throw it away. Never mind. Not selling it. So I will say on my Fluvals, I've never had an LED burn out. I have had LEDs burn out on every other light I've ever owned. The Stingrays, the cheap Home Depot or Walmart shop lights. Matter of fact, half of them just went out on one of those the other day. I haven't experienced that with a Fluval 3.0 yet, or Fluval 2.0 either. But like I said, I do like the 2.0 better. I put the Fluval 3.0 or 2.0 on all my community tanks and 20 longs, but can't afford it and use any generic Cree LED diode light or Higer lights. I haven't tried the Higer ones yet. They emailed me a couple times, but I'm not the best at emails. And I'm not really, I don't know. Not really, I don't know. I have too much stuff going on to try to worry about that kind of stuff. People blow off free stuff so much. Yeah, that's why, like, I'll sell something for $20 that's before I give it away, just because at least I know you have something invested. Like, this is the same reason, like, aquarium shops don't want helpers. Like, I'll volunteer just for the knowledge, and they're like, usually people that volunteer don't show up as much, you know. Like, maybe I'll come in, maybe I won't. But I have like 4 people at work are in need more. Wait, I have 4 people at work are in need of more tanks phase, so I just had to work. Wait, what? What? Did you just have a stroke? Bob, I have like 4 people at work are in need more tanks phase, so I just did to work. Not that bad. I don't know. I can't decipher. I think you're saying that, you know, people at work are going through more tank phase. Oh, man. What's a good price on a 75-gallon and a 125 from someone like Craigslist off Facebook Marketplace? Anyone? I never pay more than $1 per gallon. Never. And honestly, if I was to sell a 75-gallon tank, I've got a couple extras of them right now. If I was to sell them, I'd probably sell them for like $60. The Fluval programming is amazing itself. Set and forget light, sunrise, sunset. You just talked me into a Fluval 3.0 light. I don't know how. I'm definitely not trying to sell them. Yeah, the fishy mailman. I don't know. At least I'm not the only one that's confused. Have a mystery snail that I had for 8 months. Got it as a snabby. A snabby? It's always been super active, but lately it's hiding. Thoughts? Snabby. I don't know what snabby is. Got it as a snabby? Oh, baby. That's got to be baby. I don't know what's going on with chat right now. Boy, if we don't hear from Fishy Mailman, we might have to call for help. Oh, here he is. Sorry, Bob. I have people at work that are going through the need more tanks phase, so it's easy. I just take them to work. Oh, man. I wish. The aquarium hobby in my little area here has kind of died out. There's someone here who's been trying to, like, practically give away tanks for months now. And practically give away, I'm talking like 25 cents per gallon or cheaper. And still not able to get rid of them all. Zenny coming in with a translation, yep. Facebook Marketplace is a joke. People want like $200 for their net and heater Betta 5-gallon. Yeah, that's not just Facebook though. Like, I think Facebook has been probably the best place to find monster tanks as far as getting the best deals. But yeah, you definitely get the people like 10-gallon complete set up with my rainbow gravel and everything, $200. I speak fluent YouTube chat ease. Okay. Most fish keepers are stoners. Who else looks at their tanks for hours? I don't know. I'm not a stoner, and I look at my tanks for very long periods of time. I think you could make that generalization very... I don't know. I don't know that I agree with that one. Looking at a 1949 Plymouth Special Deluxe. Looks pretty much perfect. Buy it. Buy it. Howdy y'all, I got COVID and the only positive besides the test is that I can't smell the raunchy snail tank during cleaning. You're not only positive, you're COVID positive. It's a steal if they know what they got. I got my 125 on Facebook for $80. Yep. Yeah, you can. I mean, really, I think they're all a hit or miss, all of them. But I still think OfferUp is by far the worst. The worst. I'm not a stoner, but I did have brain damage. Have as in past tense. Does that mean you don't have a brain anymore? What? Oh. I don't know. Some of y'all being weird tonight. Those Facebook Marketplace tanks be so trash. Trash. $1,000 value. Act now and we'll throw in a plastic plant. Yeah, some of them are pretty crazy. When are you eating the chips? Oh yeah, I still gotta try the chips. What's in them? Like, there's no like hints as far as like what the flavor is gonna be. Smells like plastic flavoring. Potatoes, corn, sunflower, cottonseed, sugar, salt, vinegar, citric acid, dextrose, onion powder, garlic powder. Those are pretty good. Paprika, that's pretty good. Paprika for color and spice. Ooh, what color are they? Okay, I'm gonna open. Show us the packaging. I don't even know where to get these. He gave me another one that was like bacon and something, and those were fantastic, and I ate the whole bag. So they were bacon something. Let's see what they smell like. They don't really smell like anything. Amanda, they taste exactly like that. You called it. If you've ever had the all dressed up chips, that's what they taste like. It's like a barbecue, kind of weird. They're Amanda, they are like identical. Like, I'm not even kidding. Don't want to, or I'm not gonna make you guys hear me crunch. They're good. They're good. Not like Lay's barbecue. Not like Lay's. The Ruffles. The Ruffles all dressed up. That's pretty good. I wish I could remember what the bacon one was. Let me ask him. I need to find out where to buy them because I need to get some more of them. Uh-oh. Where did you get those chips from? And do you remember the bacon? All right. That's pretty good. Pretty good. That's your weakness, chips. I will seriously, like, after this stream, I'll probably eat that entire bag. Like, I cannot help it. Ruffles did all dressed, yeah, all dressed up. They still make it, I think, don't they? Can rainbow fish or CPD be with mollies? The CPDs will probably never come out, but rainbow fish definitely can be with mollies. Yeah, that's normally I don't like. I'm not a fan of Tim's because they're normally like really hard and crunchy, but these ones are not. They're like the whatever the green one is, the really sour ones. Do I have Zapp's chips? No. I will always try chips though. I absolutely love chips. You don't get a kingly physique like this. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Without eating chips. All Dressed Up is called bistro flavor on the Old Dutch chips. All right. Well, I'm just glad we made it an hour before we started talking about food because I'm starving. Let's see. What did he say? QFC. He says, what do you mean, do I remember what the bacon ones were? You lost the package? I didn't lose the package. I had those eaten before I even made it home. Like, I was at his house, and he's like, here, I got some chips for you to try. And I opened one of the bags. He was like, you got to try them on the stream. And the bacon one I opened on the way home. And I polished off that bag before I even made it home. They were so good. Oh, man. It's like, I will. I have absolutely eaten an entire bag of chips for dinner before. Like, it would not be the first time. Not even close to the first time. New merch idea. Remember the bacon? I'm the worst with merch. I'm going to check if Chip's in-house now. Wait, I'm going to check if... Oh, if Chip's in the house now. Nice. Man, I have a love-hate relationship with them. Rocky Miles is having spinach and ricotta. Ricotta ravioli. I do love myself some ravioli, too. Some ravioli. Dots pretzels. I'm going to tell you right now, I hate pretzels. So, I hate the small pretzels that come in a bag and they're super crunchy. I don't like those at all. Not for me. I have a bad habit of eating chips while working and driving, then don't remember eating all of them. Exactly. Exactly. I feel your pain. Miss Vicky's spicy dill pickle chips are surprisingly really good, even if you don't like dill pickle. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot to say in a word. And like a Miss Vicky's spicy dill pickle chips. That's a lot to put. That's a lot. Chips are my favorite snack. They're so good. Oh, wait. Ginger Grumble with the $5 super chat says special batch. That flavor is at QFC. And there we go. QFC. You already knew. All right. A stew for dinner. Jacob Hill. Barbara Jackson says a leftover ham and homemade potato salad for dinner. I'm having Sasquatch surprise. I wonder if I have any dip. What kind of dip should I have with that? I don't know. Anyways, have I missed any fish questions? Fish questions on this fish live stream? I don't think I've seen any fish questions though, so I don't feel bad. I got my 125 and Fluval 307 filter plus stand for $200 at the thrift store. That's a good score. I remember when you could get the 125 stand and glass tops from PetSmart for $300. Man, that was such a good deal. Never getting that deal again. Brand new. Lisa said she made the best scalloped potatoes and ham tonight. All right. Luigi is better. It says salt and vinegar chips are not for everyone, but they're my guilty pleasure. Jalapeno cheese dip. I might have to do that. French onion with barbecue flavor? I never tried that before. This stream, fish and chips. How do you get plants for cheap? You go to local clubs and buy them when they have their auctions. There's that is going to be the cheapest way. By far the cheapest way. Alex says, I'm terrible with merch too. I've designed merch for Lucas and like 7 other channels and nothing new in 2 years for my own unless Ginger Graves inspires me and makes me create something for her. I've never had salt and vinegar chips, but I do like salt and vinegar wings. Wingdings. Does the UFO have an aquarium? I bet it doesn't have an aquarium, but I bet it has a place to store live animals that maybe would include fish. For research purposes. You gotta bring them home. Get your sample specimens and take them back to your galaxy. Jalapeno kettle chips dipped in plain sour cream. I'm not a sour cream guy at all, so that's not gonna work. Get that crap out of here, Curtis. No sour cream. No way. How would a tank be before... Wait, how big would a tank be before you start worrying about reinforcing the floor? Well, that would depend entirely on your house. Like, was your house built in the 1920s? I would be way more concerned. For me, I mean, like, I don't have to be worried about it because all my tanks are on a concrete pad, so I don't have to. Is it on a first floor or second floor? Do you have a basement? Do you foundation? Like, there's so many things to consider. I mean, I would hate to say, like, I wouldn't even be worried about a 125, but there's plenty of houses that I've been to where you would have to worry about a 125, so I don't know. Really going to depend on your house. I wish I had a better answer for you, but there's so many variables. I listened to Corey's 2 videos on breeding fish for profit, and the overall message is to breed guppies and have a good relationship with your LFS. That is 1,000% true. Now, there's other fish. Well, the whole term breeding for profit is not really correct either, because really you're just breeding to support your hobby. You may make a profit, but if at the end of the day, if you're breeding fish and it pays for your frozen food or your filter cartridges or whatever, like, that's a win in my opinion. Anytime you can make money from your hobbies to help support the hobby is a win, and that's what I try to do that with all my hobbies. I don't have a single hobby where I don't make money, and again, I'm not making money. It's not profit. It's just helping fund the hobby. But there's definitely ways you can do it with guppies where you're actually for profit. But most of the time, it's not really for profit, if you know what I mean. Just went to the kitchen to hunt for chips. I'm going to go to the grocery store and hunt for chips. I plan on getting some rainbow fish for my 75. Any tips on keeping them, and what species for someone new to keeping them? Well, the midnight lobster, I usually, when someone asks me what rainbow should I keep, I usually ask them what their favorite color is. Because you can get rainbow fish in just about any color you want. And if you tell me your favorite color is blue, I would say, well, obviously turquoise rainbows or Kamaka rainbows. You know, so whatever your favorite color is, that's the kind of rainbow fish. There's not really like big care discrepancies between the different species. They're all almost identical in care. You have 75 gallons, so you have plenty of room for a school of large rainbows. If you want to go with larger ones, you can do a lot of small ones. It's really personal preference. Whoa, Did Regina Phalanges just become my best friend? Where's she at? I hate whipped cream. Yep. We just became best friends because whipped cream is the dumbest thing in the world. Actually, sour cream is worse than whipped cream, and cottage cheese is the worst. But whipped cream, never. You put any of that stuff on my food, I'm sending it back. Never put that stuff on. That's stupid. Whipped cream is a waste. A waste of time, waste of money, and a waste of life. If you dedicated your life to making whipped cream, then you wasted your life. Because it is the worst. I really love the ketchup chips from Australia, but I have to find an exotic snack store here in California for my addiction. An exotic snack store? Is that a thing? Huh. That can't be a thing. Exotic snack store? I'm very intrigued. Very, very intrigued. Cottage cheese is the bomb. It's so gross. Oh, yeah. Okay. More fish question. Where's the rest? Money Viper is making a steak sandwich and adding chips. All right. Like, I put chips in my hamburgers. Does anyone else do that? Put a little crunch in your hamburger. It is the best. I put chips in my sandwiches. I put chips in my cereal. There's no limit to what I would put chips in. Chips are so good. Dunkin' Donuts new cold foam is even dumber than whipped cream. I don't want to know what that is. Cold foam. My favorite rainbows lately are the Rhamnocentris ornatus. Well, that's because they're freaking awesome. Everyone should own Rhamnocentris. You don't need heater for them. Oh, they're easy to breed. So many cool things about Rhamnocentris. Super active, really good schooling fish. What kind of nonsense was he just saying? Oh, man. Shots fired. The Flamin' Hot Cheeto Puffs dipped. I've never had the Flaming Hot Cheetos. Multi-tank syndrome is creeping up on me. I've only been keeping fish for a year and only have one tank, but after I move, I really want to set up 4 tanks. Well, if you've been in this hobby for a year and you're a member on an aquarium channel and yet you still only have one tank, I don't think you really have to worry about MTS. Not yet. I'm sorry, Bob. As a dairy farmer, I feel personally attacked by your negative whipped cream hatred. This is the worst than your rant about ribeyes. Ribeyes. My rant about ribeyes. Well, if it helps, I do love milk. I love milk fresh from the cattle's teat. Tastes so good. I'm not a big fan of the flaming hot stuff. Yeah, not me either. Not so much. Ribeye. What was I ranting about ribeye? I mean, it is like the most overrated cut of beef there is. Was that what I was ranting about? It's hard to get a good ribeye steak where I live, so I'm kind of jaded, to be honest. My least favorite rainbows lately have got to be the Parkinsoni rainbows. Yeah. Yep. Talk about shots fired. I got some Parotosinclus heraldi today. Very nice looking autos. They remind me of tiny snowball plecos. All right. What are we working with here? I have never seen this fish before. This is crazy. You are 100% right. Check this fish out. Here we go. That is a sweet looking auto. It is like a snowball pleco. It's a snowball auto. Is anybody else keeping this fish? I've never heard of this fish before. Ribeye. It's way too expensive for something that's like 50% fat. At least in my area here, ribeye steaks are like half fat, and it's just a waste. Anyways, I'm glad you brought that fish to my attention. I'm going to have to seek it out now. Yeah, ribs over ribeye. Just about anything. Oh, that's cute. It is. That's a really nice looking fish. They got candies, drinks, and snacks from Japan, Switzerland, New Zealand, Australia, Canada, Japan, and China. Oh, the fancy snack store? Does it come from the same place as the Mubu Pleco? I don't think so. It's a Galaxy Auto? Corey just had them for sale. Dang it. Well, at least I know where to get them from then. Because if he can get them, then I can get them. Fat is flavor. Yes, I agree. But I don't want half of my steak to be fat. Like, is no bueno. No bueno. Bob, are your Buenos Aires Tetras still doing well outside? Negative. Negative. They took the cold way better than I thought they would. But nope. Super cool little guys. I have that auto. Galaxy Auto wild caught like most autos. I would say your common auto sinkless is probably farm bred. It is a terribly easy fish to breed. Actually, I want to clarify about the whipped cream. I like real whipped cream made with heavy cream and sugar, all whipped up, but the stuff from a can. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That spray stuff, right? It's in an aerosol can. Get that out of here. Probably should have clarified that before I offended Adam. Adam, talking about the aerosol spray can whipped cream. It is the worst. Any tips for a 30-gallon planted aquarium? I want mollies and dwarf neon rainbow fish. So, honestly, I would probably pick one or the other. You can certainly do both. Your mollies are going to breed and are going to overrun the tank if you don't have anywhere to unload the fry. But you could probably do a couple mollies and like a small group of dwarf neons. But I would say 30-gallon is probably like the minimum, the absolute minimum for a school of dwarf neon, because the Brackish fish, the Brackish rainbow fish, still gets like 3 inches. So your mollies are gonna get around the same size. It's gonna get filled up pretty quick. Then the butchers in your area are not trimming correctly, Bob. Yeah, I have never in my life have I ever had a good ribeye steak where I was like, I should have just got a sirloin because this is awful. Yeah, so while I am sure there are good ribeyes out there, I have never had one. I prefer my steak 98% fat. Then that's not steak. It's not steak. Bob, try tip for the win if I'm getting my choice cut. Also, my favorite to make jerky with. I'm always going to go with a New York because I do want that fat. But I only want that one little layer of fat. That's all I want. That's all I need on my steak. JP3, I don't know if anyone's going to know the question to that or the answer to your question, but I would guess right now probably most of them are wild caught. The Galaxies go for 30 a pop. I think it's worth it if you get a good group to breed. Our autos easy to breed. The common auto sinkless is one of those fish where if you ask someone, they're either going to say it's super easy or it's super hard. I I was actually the first time that I heard. I was at a club meeting in Seattle where somebody was asking one of the speakers like how to breed ottos. They're very hard to breed and they haven't been able to breed them. And I'm thinking, mine are breeding in my community aquariums. Like, I'm not even trying to breed them and they're breeding. And then the speaker said the same thing. He's like, well, usually people that don't try to breed them are breeding them, and the people that try to breed them are unsuccessful. So I don't know. It's just one of those fish. Like, they either really like what you got going for them or they don't. For me, they were really easy to breed. Just enough to give it that good taste. Hey, everyone, what's your favorite music genre? Mine is fish. Fish genre. Fish. Plus Ready Whip is more portable? What? I plead a re-apology accepted. Real or nothing. In all seriousness, keep up the good work. So when I go to like fancy restaurants and I get like a chocolate shake and it comes with whipped cream, I don't mind it that much. But if I go through like a drive-through and I get a shake and I say no whipped cream and they put whipped cream on it, it always tastes terrible. Always. I hate it. Absolutely hate it. So again, I'm sure it's one of those, there's good quality whipped cream and then there's the crap that I apparently get served. In a Kool-Aid pie? What? Are your super chats off? I'm trying to send and nothing happens. I sure hope not. That would not be good. Although I noticed I could not send one either. No, I don't think so. We've had super chats here, so I don't think so. Normally I can super chat myself though, and right now I can't. Oh well. I appreciate the thought. If it doesn't work, it's the thought that counts, right? Ready Whip is more portable. I'm definitely going to be buying steak tomorrow. I do have to make a trip to the butcher. I got to get some more dog food, actually. Maybe that's what I'll do tomorrow. It's cool. Whip. 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 Will Siamese algae eater eat algae off of Val? Yes. Now, if you're feeding your tank like lots of fish food, they're probably not going to go after algae. Like if they're getting full up on fish food, probably not going to eat algae. So just keep that in mind. Bob, how do you like your steak prepared? Medium well, medium rare. I prefer a rare steak with a nice sear. Yeah, like I pan sear every steak I ever make. A cast iron skillet, pan seared, medium rare. It is amazing. They always get my food wrong at drive-through. I just as well. It stops me going. Yeah, it's pretty disgusting anyways. I can't send from my computer, but I can send from my phone. Interesting. Thank you for that. Carol, thank you as well. $5 super chat. Liquid Zoo OnlyFins, $1 super chat. I swear this time it was not a pitch. Just to try to get super chats. That was a legit question. So that's interesting. You can't from your computer, but you can from your phone. Getting hungrier. Texas Fish Room. Actually, buddy, did you get my email last week about the hat? About the free hat. We're freeing Matt McCall, or Hat McCall, whatever his name is. Let me see. I'm probably opening up my email for the first time since last week. When did I even mail that? Had to be last week. Oh, here we go. Hat winner. All right. Texas Fish Room, $1 super chat. Thank you. I appreciate it. Did you get the email for the free hat? Question of the day. Rare with a good sear, light salt, and heavy pepper. And you have to caramelize the salt and pepper. Oh, it's so good. I do feed the tank a fair bit since it's a community tank. Will autos do the same? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, fish naturally graze pretty much all day, anyways. But if you're getting fish in hopes that they're going to eat your algae, you don't want to give them reasons not to eat your algae. So, yeah, don't buy algae eaters and then feed them algae pellets. Wait till your algae is gone. Now, obviously, you don't want them to starve to death. So if they're not eating your algae, then they're just not going to eat it. It was mailed out. Sweet. Sweet. I'm jealous, and I even have some. I need a new blue one. How much for a blue one? My blue one is like trashed. I wore it way too much. SJ Fishing Adventures. $5 super chat. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Bob, are you still getting Pygmy corys, or did I miss something? The Pygmy corys are on hold. Yeah, they're just on hold. On hold for now. But yes, eventually. Eventually. By the SAE reticulatus species, diamond in the tail but no horizontal black stripe is the best for actually eating algae. The best. Yep, exiting out and coming back worked. Oh, okay. Okay. So you actually have to leave and come back. Let me try that. Okay. Oh, yeah, there it is. That's really interesting. All right. Wait just a minute here. What is this now? Well, either way, it's working now, so that's good. I feel like there's less. Like of the stupid stickers. Oh, I'm sorry, super stickers, not stupid stickers. Let's see. Huh, interesting. Anyways, okay, I'm back. Oh, dang it, and then I exited all the way out of my chat. Whoops. Okay, I'm back. All right, I'm back. You told me nothing. Nothing. Don't you know, if it's not in a super chat, I just don't read it. So if you're saying something and it's not in a super chat, sorry. You gotta put it in a super chat. Anyways, I'm obviously kidding. Calm down. Just calm down. Jacob Hill says, I have white clouds and they breed, but the babies don't survive. I got lots of plants and floating plants. Why might this be? Feed them more. Feed them more so they stop eating their babies. Yep. Someone says, could they be starving? Yep. Thinking I should get a cut of the money since my question seemed to make it rain. Well, now you can make it rain because it's fixed now if you enter and come back. But yeah, I will email your suggestion to the management team and see what they say. Yeah. Rocky Miles. Let's see what management says. I notified them. If they approve, then we can do something like that. Carol Cox with the $1 super chat. Thank you. Nola's Dolls and Aquatics says lies. Lies. Bob, Matthew Vargas can tell you don't even necessarily read super chats. I do miss a lot of them, to be honest. And I do feel bad. But when there's 200 people in chat, it goes by pretty fast sometimes. Although lately everyone's been pretty mild, pretty chilled out. I like it. Go with the flow. Now they're dreaming. UPS, you're living the dream. Hello, hello, hello. Definitely thank you, Carol, says Zen Ginger. Definitely thanks. I appreciate it. Okay. All right. What other fish questions we got? Anxiously waiting. I have white clouds, pygmy corys. Luigi says, I also keep giant autos. Technically not a real auto sinkless, but they are somewhat similar. I have kept the giant ones before, and the orange ones and the zebra ones. Never that snowball one, though. I'm going to have to look that up. I'm feeding frozen baby brine shrimp cubes once a day. I think, well, no, that's not going to work. What would I do if I was you? I would still feed more. Speaking of pygmy corys, do you think they'll breed in a tank with dense moss clumps as spots to lay eggs? Do I think they'll breed? Yes. Will any of them survive? Not a lot, if any. You might get 1 or 2 out of every spawn that survive. But yeah, I absolutely do think they will breed. Did any of my baby chameleons survive? Unfortunately, not a single one survived. No, that was pretty sad. Ooh, management team says no. Dang it. I even tried to put in a good word for you, man. Dang. You hate upper management. All they care about is money. They don't care about nothing. Best crypts for a 15-gallon community tank. Ooh. My favorite crypt is just the plain old Crypt Spiralis, so that's probably what I would go with, is Crypt Spiralis. You could do that as a background since it's a taller plant, and do like, I don't know, maybe just some, what else would I do? I don't think I'd do Wendetii. Maybe some Willisii, Crypt Willisii up front with Spiralis on the back. That's what I would do. UPS You're Living the Dream says, Andy, my pygmies lay eggs all over the glass, which is probably what you're going to see. So your hope is that they actually don't get eaten and then the fry run and hide in the moss. That's what you're hoping for. Baby chams. Yes, but I do have a gravid female again. So hopefully we can do it right this time. Are King Betta different than Giant? I picked up a huge metallic and white King Betta at Petco. He's amazing. You know, I don't know. I'm not much of a Betta person. Hopefully someone in chat can clarify. Are King Bettas different than Giant Bettas? Look up Auto Sinkless Robocop. I feel like this is kind of trolly, but we're going to see what happens here. Auto Sinkless Robo. It actually comes up. All right. How dare I doubt you? Yeah, I got some of these from the Wet Spot once upon a time, a long time ago. I think maybe like 5-ish years ago, I had some of these. There might even be a video of it. I don't remember. Yes, I have the Pygmy corys in a species-only tank, 11 of them. The only other thing in there is a mystery snail. Well, if they're laying eggs on the glass, then the mystery snail is definitely getting the eggs. If it happens to roam by one, it'll definitely eat them. How are the geckos doing? Any breeding activities? Not yet. So it hasn't warmed up enough. We're still in the cold season. So I think once it warms up a little bit, probably not till June, to be honest, the way this year's going. Giant bettas get up to 7 inches, whereas kings only about 3 inch per Google. I don't think there's a such thing as a 7-inch betta fish. Like, I'm calling foul on that one. 7-inch betta fish? Maybe a 7-inch beta fish, but certainly not a 7-inch betta fish. Need some WD-40 on this thing. Or maybe I'm just an idiot and there really are 7-inch bettas swimming around out there. I've never seen one. That's crazy big. Can get up to, yeah. And my Praecox rainbows can get up to 15 inches. It's never been seen before, but it can. After you find out, what? Robocop auto sinkless, huh? Camantho, right? That would be the biggest betta in the world. Like, I don't think there's bettas that get bigger than 5 inches, let alone 7. Like, even 4 inches sounds like a lot. I mean, you're right. The interweb does not lie. If it's on the internet, it's true. It's got to be. Have I kept frogs before? Yes. Do they croak a lot? Some do. My partner wants green tree frogs, but I don't know if they are noisy. Yes, green tree frogs will croak, and they'll be really annoying if you only have 1 or 2. It's like a field of crickets is very relaxing, but 1 or 2 is very annoying. Although their calls are definitely not as annoying as crickets, but it definitely doesn't sound like when there's 1,000 frogs outside and they're all going at it at once. That name definitely makes no sense. I like it though. I mean, what? Sure, some fish names make sense, but like, especially here in America, we have a bad habit of putting red in the names of fish that aren't red. It's very, I don't even know what to call it, but like you start getting into African cichlids and you're like, you see red in the name of the fish and you think it's red and it's like yellow. This is, I don't know why. There is a 7-inch macrostoma I'm staring at now. Is it one of those plushy things? Like, it's a stuffed animal. Do I still have my gaming channel? I do not. The gaming channel is now our outdoor channel. Don't talk about your stoma in chat. All right. Eh. You want a Pac-Man frog? Interesting. I don't understand the appeal, but I kind of understand it. I don't know. There's something about having a pet that does nothing but just sits there all day. Jacob, I have no idea, my friend. That's not an area of expertise of mine, so I hate to burst your bubble. Biggest betta species is only 5 inches. 7-inch betta is like corys, 4-inch platies. I miss watching you play PUBG. You need another gaming channel like ASAP, dude. Nobody wants to watch that. Except for the people that tell me they want to watch it. Must be do a camping trip soon. No, nothing on the books. Got the spot figured out, but nothing on the books yet. Nothing set in stone. My super red bristlenose look orange to me. Yeah, see, that's another one. Like, they're not really red. Although, I mean, there are some really good strains out there that, okay, I'll be like, yeah, okay, those are red. But most of them are orange. All right. Pac-Mans are just blobs that poop. I mean, you'd think I would like them. I mean, that's basically describes my life. You'd think I would like them, but I don't know. I'm not a fan. What would I suggest for a frog that's not noisy? Females. Females. I mean, frogs are gonna croak. That's kind of what they do. Do I like retro gaming? I busted out the original NES this weekend. Mario is still hard. Yeah. Yeah, I break out my original NES every once in a while. 100 in red points? What? I have one. I have 100 in red point. Most frogs are blobs that poop and yell. Well, like Pac-Man frogs take it to a whole nother level. Whole nother level. Some of us have no lives, Bob, or lives we're trying to hide from, and we want to watch you play PUBG. That game it's so unbearable now. Like, it's so hard to play that game. So first of all, for the couple people that want to know, the gaming, PUBG, they made it free. So anyone can download it and download a cheat, and you don't have to worry about getting banned because you just download it again. It's free. So the cheating is just absolutely crazy in PUBG, and it's hard to play. It's really hard to play now. I can't trust your judgment anymore. You don't even like cream cheese. Well, nobody likes cream cheese. People say they like it just because they're trying to be like, they're trying to be in the crowd, you know, but they don't really like it. It's all just a big sham, all of it. I got the original Atari, most games and controller. I love the Atari 2600. Play Warzone. I tried. Not really into it. I was actually in Discord the other day with a buddy of mine, and he's a gamer, and he's one of my best friends, and we're trying to find a game. I'm like, I don't care about any of these games. Like, I don't know, like if I just got old overnight or what, but nothing. I couldn't find anything that I was even remotely interested in playing. Some guppies have odd color names also. I think it's because they are named by breeders who look down at the fish in ponds and they see a different color than when the fish nerm looking at eye level in a tank. Possibly. I think a majority of breeders just try to make their fish, especially when it comes to guppies, sound really fancy. And this is how we end up with terms called super red, when really hardly any of them, less than 1% of them, I would say, are super red. I used to live near a stream that had thousands of California chorus frogs. I couldn't talk on the phone. The racket. The racket. Texas Fishroom says, I smoke blocks of cream cheese all the time. Eat it weekly. Why cream cheese? Why not like a good cheese? Man, smoked cheese is so good, but cream cheese? I'm going to lose. I feel like I'm going to lose a lot of subscribers over this cream cheese nonsense, but it is nonsense. It doesn't taste good. It's not. You said it's snot. Felt the need to clarify, did ya? Carrot Cake 2, the icing. I don't never had it. Bob, you or Corey should play Elden Ring. There's a lot of positives, but I don't think I'll get into it. The other part of me is like, the games are like $60, and for some reason, when I was a kid, $60 was not a lot of money. But now I'm just like, $60? That's like 6 2x4s I could buy. I can't justify it. Ooh, favorite amphibian. Now there's a question. Favorite amphibian. I'm a really big fan of the red eft newt. EFT newt. Favorite though. Favorite. I don't know. I don't think I can. It would definitely be a newt or a salamander. But I don't think. I mean, the things that like some of these newts are doing these days are just absolutely mind blowing. I mean, you know, there is a species of newt that is only female, but it mates with up to, it was 3 or 4 different species, and gives birth to whatever species it last like mated with. It's very crazy. It's really fascinating what they do. Boy, I don't know. I don't think I have a favorite, but red F newt would be really far up there. KDS, my favorite, really the only cake I might go for German chocolate. Okay, you guys are talking about stuff I don't know anything about. Do I have any favorite ways to cut cost, like in the aquarium hobby? Cut costs in the aquarium hobby. Definitely buying used. And again, I'm going right back to, if you have a local fish club, take advantage of it. If they have monthly meetings, you know, they usually have auctions, and that's how you get stuff really cheap. Only Bob would compare video games to 2x4s. Well, when you're building your own house, like, that's how you got to look at it. Especially with the cost of wood right now. Crested newts are really cool. I just wish that they kept the crest, like, year-round, not just when they're breeding. But, yeah, crested newts are awesome. Pickle roll-ups cannot be made without cream cheese, so yum. Chameleon update. All the babies passed away. None of the babies made it. I thought for sure, like, I was pretty confident. You know, we started with 11, and when we worked it down to 4, when there was 4 left, I was pretty confident that those 4 would make it. But I think they were just born too prematurely. But man, they were eating like pigs. I thought they were going to be able to put the weight on, and they just didn't make it. But I have another female. Let's grab it again. So we'll try it again here in about 40 days and see what happens. Favorite EFT amphibian? No, EFT, red EFT newt. Look, I'll show you. And the funny thing is, these are super common on the East Coast. Like, they're not rare at all. But they're still some of my favorite. I think they're beautiful. Red Eft newt. Eft. Ginger with a $5 super chat. 2x4 fun. Thank you. I appreciate it. I used to always have firebelly newts. I never see them in stores anymore. Yeah, you really don't. They used to be able to find multiple different species, but not so much anymore in Washington. A lot of stuff's been banned. Where's my chat? Here we go. We have tiger salamanders as our only natural amphibians. Do you guys have those out here? I have a baby tiger salamander in my fish room right now, as a matter of fact. So yes, they should not be out here, but they are out here. The 7-inch Betta someone was talking about is probably the saltwater variety. Get a ginger newt. I don't even know what that is. It's real red. Again, not orange, ginger. It's red. I have eggs from those newts in my koi pond right now. I feel like painting up my electric bill and it's not pretty. Yeah, mine's pretty up there too. I want that Japanese 3.5 foot long axolotl type monster that Jeremy Wade went to catch in Riva Monsters. You can. What are the big ones that are like in PA? I forget. I'm drawing a blank on the name, but they're like 3 feet long. I think they're bigger, aren't they? How's my red skin newts? I had rough skin newts that got re-released back into the wild when I moved. They are a native, so don't go freaking out. They're native to my space here. A tiger salamander, they are the cutest. Yeah, I tried to put him in my last members only video, but he was hiding, so that was a big fail. But yeah, he looks like a little axolotl. When anytime someone sees him, they're like, "Oh, I thought you hated axolotls," and I'm like, "I do. That's a tiger salamander, chump." You gotta set him straight, you know. We have gone fully off the rails of fish talk. Yeah, but we're, after an hour, we kind of ease it into other stuff, and now we're hour and a half now where we can talk about anything. It doesn't matter. A catch and release, not allowed to kill or bring home, right? Secret history living in your aquarium. Hellbenders, that's it. The Hellbenders. And so what I made when I went to the mountains with Danny and we filmed that video, people were angry that I was kicking over rock piles. Where people just stack up piles of rocks, and it's stupid, and I don't know why they do it. But one of the reasons the Hellbender is going extinct is because of people stacking rocks. Like, they have scientifically proven this, that stacking rocks is hurting the Hellbender population, which is pretty crazy. Catch and release. Colorblind, give me a break. We have gone fully off the rails. Yep. Google them. Tiger salamanders get big, though. Not 3.5 foot big. How it works says, my guinea pig died 3 days ago. He was 4 years old. I'm sorry to hear that, buddy. I know since they put up our electricity by... Wait. They put up our electricity by 50%. It's killing me. Wait, you're... Wow, 50% increase? Wow, that's crazy. What is my least favorite reptile? There's lots of reptiles that definitely should not be in the hobby. And it's probably going to be one of those like crocodiles. Like, why are people buying alligators? Alligators should not be for sale. I don't care who you are. You just shouldn't be able to just buy an alligator. That's dumb. The tiger salamanders always crack me up because I'll just be walking out of a field in the prairie and barn salamander. You can't help. Oh, man, I'm just butchering this. Always crack me up because I'll be walking out in the field in the prairie and barn salamander, and you can't help the thing because it's a felony. And barn salamander, you can't help it because it's a felony. What is the point of stacking rocks? You got me. People love to do it, though. Some of those rock piles show reverence for people you lost, but if it's killing animals, then the people... Well, so it used to be used to mark trails. Like, back in the olden days, you would stack rocks as a way, like if you walk by a branch, you would snap it off. And so if you walk back, you'd be like, okay, this is the way I came. So that's what it used to be used for. And now people are just like made it trendy, and it's just like all these Seattleites that never go in the mountains that claim I love hiking, that they go hiking like once every 10 years. These are the people that go up in the mountains and they start stacking rocks. They drive their Mercedes up these mountain roads and get stuck, and people like me have to pull them out. Like, go back to Seattle. You don't belong here. Stop stacking our rocks, all right? Just get out of here. Anyways. What is your favorite animal? Probably dogs. Washington people get angry at everything. If Mike Tyson wants an alligator, I would look the other way. Well, I mean, he had like lions, so Mike Tyson is ripped now. That dude's crazy. How dare you talk about when? How dare you talk that way about my state and my people? Actually, I retract. They are my people part. Oh man, how are the rock piles bad for them? Because they hide under rocks, right? Like this is where they live, is under rocks, and people are just taking the rocks out of the streams and then stacking them. That makes sense to you, but I'm not in the mindset of go hiking or running unless something is chasing me, so that's not in my frame of reference. Slayer Sam, suggestions for 180-gallon planted community tank. Well, rainbow fish, buddy. Rainbow fish, obviously. Lots of rainbow fish. I love hearing you rant, Bob. I'm being serious too. All right. I'm not ranting. I'm just passionate. When you go into the woods, you should. When you leave, it should be like you were never there. You should not be able to tell you were there. You don't leave your trash. You don't disturb. You just don't. You know. It's so annoying. Leave it the same way you found it. Bob, no barm. I want to help you a little bit, but I can't. I'm still new to the fish keeping hobby. All right, here we go. So it's hard for me to decide what my display tank should be. It's a 75 gallon, and I don't really care for the monster fish category. Any advice? If you don't like monster fish, go the exact opposite way and get a giant school of nano fish. I'm telling you, if you have like 50 little micro rasboras schooling around in a 4-foot tank, especially a 75 gallon tank, it looks so awesome. It's, in my opinion, a large group of nano fish swimming around is way more enjoyable than like one monster fish in an aquarium. But that's just me. They're called carns. Carns, that's right. And natives marked tubers, grains, and jerky stored. What? Jerky stored there? Or in the Arctic, it's a grave site and a landmark for a snowy, flat landscape. Well, a lot of people in the Pacific Northwest used to use them to mark trails. Once you actually get out in the mountains and you're getting into like the real trails, a lot of them are overgrown. So yeah, you do have to do something, but stacking rocks is not it. Mike Tyson sells ear bite cannabis gummies. If that's true, then he's really good at marketing. California has those same kind of entitled yuppies in urban areas. Oh man, it was so funny. Like last year when we planned one of our snow campouts, like we're up in the snow, like Jimmy and I were driving our trucks and we're in 4x4 mode, right? And we come across a corner and here's this freaking Mercedes. Of course, it's lowered all the way to the ground. And of course, it's stuck in the snow because it's been snow plowing for so long. And Jimmy and I are just shaking our heads like, why is this guy even in the mountains? So he gets unstuck, turn him around so he can go back down. And even downhill in the snow, he couldn't move his freaking car. Like he was just spinning. It's like, why are you even out here, buddy? Oh, it was so annoying. My monsters aren't monsters yet, but I love them and can't wait to see them become monster fish. I tell you, some people, man, they're doing it for the gram, for sure. It's definitely the Instagram people. I started out with guppies and goldfish, and now I have arowanas and stingrays. I'm all the way up. All the way up. Wannabe hikers do the same thing here in the Smokies. Yeah. Me in the Bay Area in California with a Jeep. Oh, man. It's so frustrating. So frustrating. Jimmy will tell you, like, I complain every time, too. And believe it, I'm not much of a complainer, believe it or not. But anytime we see them yuppies up in the mountains, I always yell, go back to Seattle. And Jimmy like shakes his head. Go back to Seattle. I mean, I don't yell at them. I just, say it in the car. Go back to Seattle. Medcal74, advice on dwarf lily bulbs. I just bought my first 2. Congratulations, no advice is needed. Seriously, one of the easiest plants in the world. Just put them in your aquarium and they will grow. They are that easy. Probably need more than 50 rasboras for a 75. Like 200 would look cooler. All right. I agree. I love that almost as much as I love lifted 2-wheel drive pickups. Don't get me started. Oh my gosh. What's worse? A lifted 2-wheel drive truck or a slammed 4x4 pavement princess? I don't know what's worse. That's where I'm going to leave this stream. You all decide. It's all the worst. Anyways. Thanks, everyone, for coming out. This has been a very unusual live stream, but I had fun. I hope you did, too. And I think that's going to be it till next week, next Monday. So thanks for coming out. I appreciate it. Thanks for participating